Hey there, guys. Chris again from Forgotten Millennial. Um, I do apologize about the timing of my video. I had to actually be called into work the next day, so didn't get enough time to get enough sleep and been running ragged. So that's one of the perks of working full time. But it's not like that forever, and hopefully things will change for the better. And of course, when it comes down to it, is that I gotta believe in something or nothing at all, and I choose to believe that there will be, in my personal opinion, a better tomorrow for not just myself, but for every man, woman, and child on this planet. And I'll say that right now. So what I've had decided to do with my next video, I kind of wanted to go a little bit on when it comes to mental, emotional, depression kind of stuff. But the fact is, we back on Monday lost a celebrity, and she was a celebrity. She was a people person, and one of maybe some that are left in Hollywood, or as known as Hollywood, on the fact that just, I mean, it was heartbreaking to find out that Carrie Fisher passed away. And of course, not even going into details on what the fact was, is that her mother, Debbie Reynolds, aka me, for those who have watched the Halloween Town movies, the fact is it's very heartbreaking, the fact that the day after, she also passed away along with her daughter. And I just believe at this point, she died from a broken heart. And it was quoted from her own son that said in the interview, stating what her mother's final words were, and saying that she wished to be next to Carrie. And she pretty much got her wish. So, she is right up there with Princess Leia, her daughter, so it was very heartbreaking. I will say, personally, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. I used to be, but it doesn't mean that I am. It's the fact that I don't know, just I guess from the fact of what happened with The Force Awakens, I thought, in my opinion, it had the next generation of Star Wars fans, and it has. But the level of story, and I mean, in fact, I am a huge fan of J.J. Abrams, the director who did the film, who not only did the Star Wars Force Awakens, but also went on to doing, before then, the first two Star Trek movies, and then, of course, doing TV shows like Alias, and then Lost, and among others that he was supervising and executive producer for and directing from time to time. But the fact is, that, what happened with The Force Awakens is that it was nothing more than fan service. There was really nothing completely new, per se. I mean, it was great seeing Harrison Ford and Chewie together again, and then, of course, seeing Carrie Fisher again on screen. The thing about Carrie Fisher, and I did not notice at the time until I did a little bit more research, that she really was a people person. She really took on the role of Princess Leia and just expanded it in a way that we never really expected from someone who acts a certain way in the movie, but then never really always takes into their real life, because it's separate from their movie life in a sense. And of course, there have been other stars, like for example, the Robert Downey Jr., who is the face of Iron Man. I mean, I can't recall how many times that guy has done Made-A-Wish Foundation events for terminally ill kids. The fact being literally the essence of Tony Stark. But the point is that compared to Robert Downey Jr. and Carrie Fisher, and I'm not saying that not all celebrities go through this crap, but have some form of mental issues, problems, depression, anxiety, things like that. And you know, let's be honest here, we all suffer from it. And I'm talking to everyone who is watching this video right now. The point is that we have some form of mental destabilization in ourselves, which gets in the way of our daily lives. And I had no idea that Carrie Fisher actually lived with this for most of her life. And for me personally, I try to not be so open about talking about my personal issues because I feel in my mind and in my heart that I just only want to make it worse. That I would be putting my burdens on someone else's shoulders, and then everything else will just fall apart after that. I've seen that happen on multiple occasions of when I try to be open to problems. It takes a toll on the psyche of that other person. May not do it at first, but eventually it's like a virus. Eventually it will reach to the point of where it will kill any sense of hope, happiness, joy. And the fact is that it's something that can be cured, but it's something that's more on the lines of we can only do ourselves. And the fact that Carrie Fisher lived with this for most of her life, it's like, it's unbelievable. And that, you know, only after her death, I just, you know, I have, for the first time ever on social media, I profoundly admitted that I do have mental and emotional disorders. And I, again, don't like talking about this stuff because to me, talking about it doesn't make me feel any more better about it. I mean, we all have baggage in life, whether that's emotional, financial, educational, relational, go on and on and on. And then that, for me personally, I feel like I shouldn't have to put those burdens on anyone else's shoulders. And then just let me be the one to suffer through it, so that I spare them of the heartache and the emotional and mental frustrations that I go through, so that no one else will. And the thing is that when it comes down to it, when it comes to these emotional disorders that I have, it's the fact that when it happens, it changes my viewpoints, it changes my habits. I feel like I'm putting on so many masks to hide the existence of my mental and emotional disorders for the sake of just looking normal, looking like someone who has their shit together, someone who can contribute to society, someone who could be a person of interest to someone else. And it's not an easy task. It takes a huge toll on the psyche just putting on a mask and trying to think for 1 month. That's okay. But the truth is, I'm putting on a mask. It's not necessarily going to seal the problem. It's not going to be rid of my problems. I'm hiding them from the whole world because I don't want my problems to be on anyone else's shoulders but mine. Because these are my burdens, my responsibility. I mean, if there's something I've learned when it comes to relationships, is that a woman wants a guy who has this shit together and doesn't have too much emotional baggage to bring into the relationship. On the fact of not having that person being able to hold out on his own without anyone else around. I don't have the liberty of friends. I have some friends who I'm grateful to be associated with. And thing is that without other human beings in my life, I'm clearly not the man you're seeing before you on the screen. Because I've seen what happens when I isolate myself. And that's what something I was actually trying to talk about yesterday in my first video, which was my introduction to the fact is, there's an article, and I'll actually post this in the description below, that there is, it's so mind-blowing, but that makes all sense of the fact that how social isolation and depression, any form of mental or emotional illness, is the leading cause of death more higher than cancer itself. I mean, it goes back to the old saying, misery loves company, but then I try to not like that, because as much as I have my own, someone else has shit to worry about. And that, you know, in the end, we can't really rely on each other to be there for when the worst happens. Or if not even the best moments in life happen. Because we're trying to hold our own, we're trying to be responsible. I mean, I might be, in my opinion, being a little too prideful, a little too ignorant. But it's because of past experiences, especially through this past year alone, that I've realized that I had no right to put that burden on anyone else's shoulders, and that to have their problem, and that to have my problems become their problem. And they say they're my friend, but then it's like, when I really need them the most, they're not going to be there when I hope they would. And you know what? That comes back to that what I was saying before. You know, not everyone's going to be there for me when I need them the most. I got to rely on myself to be productive, to be creative, to be just all the above. I can't rely on them to be happy. So I love being around other human beings. I love feeling like that I can be out there and be social, outgoing. But then when it comes to making tough decisions regarding my job, education, finances, it's all part of my social life, because without money, I can't go out and have fun. Without a good job, I can't get the money. And then without an education, I am not anywhere closer to being in the dream career that I really want to be a part of for as long as I can remember. Again, when it comes to celebrities, there's no doubt there is some form of mental or emotional struggles in their everyday lives that they're not really public about, because they want to seem like this perfect looking person who doesn't have a care in the world and that lives a good life and doesn't have any problems to deal with on a daily basis. But that we're all human, and that we all go through some kind of struggles in one way or another. And when I found out that Carrie Fisher had suffered emotional and mental disorders, the first time ever I was actually vocal about it. And again, I'm not really big on that stuff, because when it comes to doing it on social media, especially on social media, being vocal, being open about that stuff, it doesn't tend to end well. Because people tend to see me in a different way on the fact that they think I'm being a basket case. They think that I need therapy and among other things, and even medicine. No, what I really need is more life. But it's sometimes a real challenge for me to have, because again, I don't have much in financing. I don't have my own car. I don't have even my own place. I'm constantly struggling with my family with, you know, the whole let's agree to disagree but not choke each other out, like Homer Simpson choking the life out of Bart Simpson kind of scenario. But then I just want to live my own life. But then it's like, I don't have much of a choice because of the decisions I made, which were very, very poor and very, very fucked up. And again, I shouldn't even have to put my burdens on my family's shoulders as well as anyone else's, because even though they're They're my family, and I love them. You know, I have no right to put that crap on their shoulders as well. Again, these are my responsibilities, no one else's. It is my job as a man to own up to my responsibilities, no matter what. But I keep asking myself, how much time do I have to spend in order to get my life together in order for someone of the opposite sex to take of interest in me? Because I definitely do not want to give her that emotional baggage, nor to look like that I don't have my shit together. And granted, yes, I am one of those millennials that happen to live in mommy and daddy's basement, so to speak. But again, I live on the second floor, I got a good view outside, but that's beside the point. The point is that I have much privacy here. I don't have much in my life. Even though I have my own job, and I have my own responsibilities outside the house. I try to do the best I can, like, with what I have. But in the end, it's like, it's a real emotional struggle for me on the fact of having that self-confidence to go out and try to make something out of myself, as far as like trying to have a date, trying to get another job, to do so many things with my life. They're not boring, they're not depressing, or emotional, any of that crap. Again, I don't like being open about my problems. Everyone handles their problems their own way. Some ways are good, some ways are bad. But the overall thing is that they're trying, in their own heads, trying to get over their own problems without having it affect everyone else. Like, I hate the fact that I have so many mood swings. I'm sick of having my habits change and my viewpoints of life altered because of the fact that I don't have a lot of people to interact on a daily basis. And I reach out to social media on the fact that I feel like it's like my only connection to the outside world. And honestly, I don't want it to be just that. I mean, I've seen what happens when I'm outside of social media when it comes to actually being in real life. I'm an engaging, kind-hearted, understanding, hyperactive, knucklehead, well-mannered, understanding, and gutsy kind of guy. But I don't get many chances to show that. And that side, more or less side of being ultra romantic. I mean, there's so many messages out there for guys like myself who say, oh, I need muscles, I look like Channing Tatum, and look like I buy Bill to no end, like a Schwarzenegger, that I have to have a long dick to be able to really deal with women in bed, and shit like that. And it's like, you know, and I just want to share my love with someone I care about. And to base our chemistry. Because, you know, I'm looking for not only a personal but a sexual relationship, but more in the lines of chemistry. Because without the chemistry, then there is no connection, there is no relationship. And, you know, I keep asking myself, will I, in time, if not too long, how long it takes, will I be able to be ready for when that moment comes? The really most important moment of my life that I really want to be a part of. And the question is, I really don't know. Because with all my emotional baggage I'm currently dealing with right now, I don't want it on anyone else's shoulders to carry. See them suffer the same crap that I'm suffering. the fact that I screwed myself over so many times over that I don't know if my stupid effort and thinking I'm human. But the thing is that it's good to know I'm the only one out there who are suffering from, who is suffering from shit like this in their lives. Whether that's emotional, or depression, whether it's mental, or even the point is that I'm just trying to wrap my head around of what I need to do in life to be happy and joyful again. And what I've come to understand is that I have to make certain sacrifices so that I can be able to gain opportunity possible. But the question is, I'll take for that to even finally pay off. Again, I'm already looking for another job. And, you know, come back to this whole election with Trump being president. I mean, I voted because, and I just, like, I would say distance myself from the rhetoric about what was being said about him, what true wasn't. And then, you know, I can have to say that I voted for him because I want another chance at the American dream. I want my opportunity to not be in vain, to not feel like that. Just in my opinion, when I meet a girl, I want to look like, to her, someone who's successful. Someone who has their crap together, someone who's truly independent, someone who can really take care of himself financially. And until I can gather those important tools of a relationship, I can't even think about jumping into one right now. Granted, I'd rather be in a casual relationship rather than a serious relationship, because when it comes to serious relationships, you might as well be in a marriage, in a sense. No, I want to be slow and steady, but I also want to make sure that I'm not just jumping into something that's not necessarily going to last in time. And I guess in this sense, I'm just trying to protect my heart from what happens next. I am sometimes, if not all the time, my own worst enemy. But that I try to make the best decisions possible for the right reasons. Then, of course, some people say that the decisions I made were for the wrong reasons, which I beg to differ, because these were my decisions, these were what I thought were best at the time that I had thought about it. But still, the effects of what I tend to do to solve my problems tends to hurt everyone around me. And frankly, I can care less, because these are my decisions, and I stand by them no matter what. But I shouldn't have to care what other people think about them. But then it does affect me, asking myself, am I being too emotional? Am I emotionally disturbed than I ever have been? I mean, I should go to the therapy, but I choose not to, because I was someone who was heavily involved in therapy a lot when he was younger, due to the fact of my disability. People thought it in my opinion. I have autism. If not even on top of that, ADHD, which was never really diagnosed, but definitely clearly that I do have ADHD on the fact that I have certain traits that coincide with it. The fact that I don't like in one spot for too long, and I got to move around, and then just it couldn't. It may not necessarily be ADHD, but I do have autism, and it is something that I have lived with for most of my life. I have tried to embrace the fact that I have a disability. To not be used as a weakness, but to be as a strength. But it becomes more and more difficult when the media tends to give these stereotypical messages to what guys should have to be successful, if not even a person of interest in a woman's eyes. Which leads to me putting all that much more so on the fact of trying to challenge myself, and yes. Because, to be honest, I mean, purpose comes before me. But then I want, in my opinion, partnership, which is where the whole casual relationship comes in. It's not necessarily serious, and if it eventually ends up being a serious relationship, then much closer to the better. To be honest, I've never had a life. As hard as that is, I've never had a girlfriend in my life. I came close once, but it didn't pan out. I guess what comes down to is that seeing what emotional disorders do to people, how it affects everyone around them. I try to stay isolated so that no one suffers the same fates that I have. To me, take actions and to work hard to earn my chance of having a better life. To show that I can take care of myself. Whether that's financially, mentally, or all the above. I do the best I can on my own, but at the same time, without people in my life, actually without other human beings being involved in my life, it feels like it's all for nothing. But that's just the mindset I get from the fact that when I try to do something different, that's more me, that makes me feel like I can be myself at. And yet there's no one else to join me on that. It's very depressing at times. I guess at this point, I just to be different. I mean, I can say right now, when it comes to the new year, I believe it's going to be a brighter future for everyone, despite all the bullshit going on in politics and world policies and things that are going on right now. Because American, as a forgotten man of this country, I believe my time, my redemption is coming soon. But that I have to keep an open mind and to be aware of my surroundings. Opportunity knocks. Hopefully I'll be able to answer when the time comes. And what I'm mostly afraid of is that my emotional and mental disorders would impede me from having that happiness and joy that I've always wanted. Yes, I want to have a girl in my life. But more so, I just want to be a part of life. More than usual. I mean, I don't get out much. I only go to work, school, then at home, and then I contemplate on my actions. Play some video games, watch YouTube videos, on social media, but never really anything worthwhile, because I'm just plotting my escape of this hole that I got myself into. And what I want to do nothing more is to climb out once and for all of. Things in this country have drastically changed. Whether you think it's for the worse or for the better. Depending on what side of the point you're looking at. Are you looking at the view? It's because it's worse because Trump's gonna be almost in office, or gonna be better knowing that finally shit's getting done, which should have gotten done a long time ago. I was in a conversation with my aunt recently about these certain things that I'm going through. The fact that, told her you can have one without the other. You can have a relationship without some means of stable financing, stable living. And yet she was telling me her stories about my mom and her living under one roof for a good long time, even while they were in relationships. But the thing is that I'm trying to not be them. I want to be me. I want to be able to handle myself. I want to be able to live on my own. I want to be able to have a car and so many other importance to show that I am successful in the eyes of a woman. And that's a lot of baggage to carry, but it's my baggage because I'm trying to challenge myself as a man to do better with my life. And until I get that better life, or at least come close to it, I can't have anyone else come into it. At least as far as relationships go. I can have a friend. I'd be grateful for that, yes. But I'm not just ready to go into a relationship. It's unknowing to me what's going to happen in the following year. Like, I choose to believe, like I said at the beginning of my video, that I have to believe in something or nothing at all. Because, again, I want to believe that there is going to be a better tomorrow for me, if not for everyone else in the world. Because we gotta stop living in the past. Stop judging ourselves too harshly, thinking we have things that would make us better than who we are, when all we need is really just being ourselves. And then everything else is secondary. But for me, I'm tackling all these challenges because I want a better life. I want a girlfriend. I want more friends. I just want to be more social and outgoing. To feel like I could be more of a participant in life than I ever have been. But with my conflicting schedule at work, I don't get very many opportunities. I mean, I'm big on anime, furries, and whatever else is out there that I'm big into. And that there are days of where there's local clubs here where in my area where I live by, that there are certain days of where I work on. And anytime I try to get any of those days off, just everything goes to awry. And everything in my workplace just goes south. And can't have much of a free time to do anything better with myself until I can sort out my financial problems, which is basically having a job that can be able to be catered, which never can happen with jobs nowadays, but that can understand that, I can be the most dependable person there, but I would like to have my right to have some fun and to enjoy myself, to kick back and relax, not damn time if my next paycheck that comes in is not going to be as enough as the last. If I'm just going nowhere with this job. Though, then again, it does pay me, but just not enough to the point of where I can't practically live on my own. Again, I don't, move here with my family. I had no other choice. My choices I made, pretty much, I fucked myself over. I've been trying so long, so hard. These past several months, since the summer, to try and make up for so many bad choices I made. And to make things right with the people I care about. And to ensure to myself that this shit will never, ever happen again on my watch. I mean, again, I'm not trying to be big on social media. I just want the opportunity for me to speak out with what's in my head and what's in my heart. For everyone to see and hear. For that, I do not want to remain a spectator anymore in life. I don't want to remain silent about things that bug me to no end. And yet there's so much I even want to talk about nowadays that I don't normally get the chance to. And I feel like the only way I can is just pretty much these videos right here. And all sorts of other projects. But the point is that, again, I'm not big on politics, I'm not big on conspiracy theories, any of this shit. It does make you wonder what's really going on in the world nowadays. And that if there will be a better tomorrow, how long before that happens? How long must we wait till we finally get the opportunity to really live the American dream, you know? I'm seeing some very drastic steps come in the next year, but the one step I'm taking a drastic step into is to just enjoy life more. To not beat myself up to a pulp if things don't go my way. I mean, I realize that the world does not revolve around me, but, you know, I at least like to have my opportunity to have fun with the people that I care about, and to be with those that accept me for who I am. What I am. And that no one's perfect. We all, again, have baggage in our lives, but I'm not necessarily wanting that on anyone else. I will say right now, I don't mind a helping hand from time to time. It's something, finances, education, whatever, and even emotional support. But at the end of the day, these are my problems and mine alone to face on my own. They are my responsibilities, and I should only be the one to handle them. No one else. Now, I know it sounds like I'm being stubborn, very prideful and crap, but it's a realistic situation from my eyes, from my perspective, of the reason to why I'm saying what I'm saying. Right now, I'm so grateful that I realize I'm not the only one living through this crap of so many struggles these days, whether that's mental, financial, educational, anything that involves having a better life, but going through so many roadblocks and red tape just to do so. I'm grateful that I'm not the only one in this fight to keep my sanity together. Granted, how I'm going to keep my sanity together is just being things that make me who I am. Whether that's me doing these videos on YouTube, whether that's me doing game streaming, which I'm going to get back into the habit of doing very soon. Anything I can do good in, I will participate in. And that I will not let some kind of schedule, or schedule get in the way of those things. Because I want to feel like a human being rather than a drone. Someone who's on autopilot, just continuing to, like, you know, kiss ass and not questioning certain things. That I should have the right to question about. The bottom line is, guys, we're not perfect. We all go through some kind of struggles in our lives. And we do our best to handle it on our own as best as we can without anyone else getting involved, for the sake of not having them suffer what we are enduring already, because they have no, basically, they should have to suffer for our actions. But that sometimes we do need to rely on each other, knowing that, or even just realizing that we are not the only ones going through any kind of struggles in life. And that we should lift each other up to encourage ourselves to keep moving forward and get through these complicated challenges so that we can and will have a better tomorrow. I'm not one about gathering groups when it comes to talking about this stuff, but at least I'm not the only one dealing with this kind of crap. But I, again, do not want this to be on anyone else's shoulders but my own. I put in my perspective, and by that. And all I want in the end is more happiness and joy, more productivity, creativity, almost all the above. And it's not an easy task because, like I said, everything is connected to something else, such as a job is connected to having financing, thus financing being connected to having a relationship. Though, as much as it seems odd, the love should be involved with the relationship, that is true, yes, but if you cannot financially stabilize yourself, how are you going to financially be stable for your significant other? Are you going to keep relying on family to, to care and, to coddle you and crap until you finally have the tools necessary to leave the nest? Or are you just going to do whatever it takes to ensure that your happiness and joy is still intact, and that your significant other's happiness and joy is intact in their side as well? Now, speaking out to right now the men, we guys do what we can to support our loved ones, to do what is necessary and what we believe in our heart is the right thing to do. And that we always want to make sure our women always comes first before us. I am unfortunately not one of those guys. I am a man who is struggling to know his purpose in life, struggling to get back into things and make him who he is regardless of his mental breakdowns. Someone who partially judges himself too much on what he doesn't have rather than what he already has. And then what it comes down to it at the end of the day is that I just don't have what I need as far as to be in a relationship. Not until I sort out what I have to first. Making sure I'm financially stable, that I'm somewhat successful with my life on the fact of actually being involved in something that makes me feel like that I'm a part of something more than I can ever imagine. To share with others. Who wants to know? Who does not want to talk so much cultural baggage that they really aren't involved in life, doesn't have anything interesting or profound or exciting to talk about, but it's only just their emotional problems? And I don't think not a lot of people want to be around that kind of conversation, would you? So, I want to be more involved in the world that I live in. And I have to, first of all, I have to look for another job that will hopefully the side effects when it comes to me being in one spot, which goes along with my ADHD symptoms, which may not necessarily be ADHD, but if I tend to stay in one spot, my brain starts to get tired, and my eyes get tired as well, which leads me to the point of where I'm just starting to almost pass out. The fact is that I want to be me when I'm around a woman. I want to be me when I'm around people in general. Then I want to be the most, in this commercial, the most interesting man alive. Okay, and not the not interesting man alive. And I will go as far as to make sure that happens. I know, and it sounds like, I'm realistic with that statement, but the fact is that I do not want risk in me anymore. I've seen what happens when I'm isolated. I've seen how it just changes personalities, friendships, relationships, perspectives, habits. Anything that was once a part of their life is forever changed because of their actions. And then they think from the mess that they're putting on, just covering what's going on, it's just only going to make it worse. That no one else sees more of those cons about me. Yeah, 2017 is just around the corner, guys. I believe this is going to truly be the year. People will finally be given the chance to really live and prosper as we never have before. I will say right now that we shouldn't have to rely on our own government for us to be happy and joyful, for us to have all the little perks and things in order to be successful in life. No, we have to rely on ourselves to be happy and joyful. We shouldn't have the government be playing mommy and daddy to us, living in our so-called safe spaces and shit. Act your damn age and fucking be a participant in society. I'm flat out saying that right now. Anyway, and my next video, I'll kind of go more some very key topics that have just recently surfaced that I really want to go more in depth about, but I really just want to cover more emotional struggles along with in remembrance to Carrie Fisher, aka Princess Leia. The fact is that it's good to know that I'm not the only one suffering through this crap, and that I don't intend to be the last. And we'll keep fighting to get my life back till the day I die. To my final breath, I will keep fighting for my right to have my happiness and joy, and to share that with someone else in the end. But right now, I gotta focus on what I have to first. And then I believe in my heart that everything else will fall into place shortly after that. So, only time will tell. Those who are watching this video, I can definitely say, don't be ashamed of your problems. Don't be ashamed of the fact that you also have mental or some kind of emotional disorder. We all go through it. Some hide it better than others, but then at the end of the day, we're only human. So I say right now, embrace who you are. Don't put your emotional baggage on everyone's shoulders, but look for that support that will lift you guys up to the point of where this crap that you're going through is non-existent, and that you can regain your faith in humanity, your happiness and joy, your productivity, your creativity, everything that makes you who you are. Just realize it's not gone forever. Only you have the roadblocks preventing it from prospering into the way that you want it to. As I said before, we are literally our own worst enemies, as I am. The only way we get past that is we admit who we are, what our struggles are, and then keep moving forward. And don't look back. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one.